Easy guys, Dom here from Cringy Dad Gaming. So welcome to The Last of Us Part 2, and this is going to be our walkthrough guide for Abby Part 1. This is early on in the game. It is just generally some light platforming and a little bit of combat towards the end of this section. Now, one thing I like about this game is the simplicity of the controls, and it does explain them pretty well early on, so hopefully you've got them down at this point. But what I want to discuss with you guys really is just why I'm doing some walkthrough guides. They're not going to be walkthrough guides where I'm going to be showing you every single collectible or every single item in the game. It is purely to be showing people a method or a way to be able to play the game to really kind of maximize their ease of getting through it, really, because there can be some parts in these survival horror stealth games that can be quite frustrating. Trust me, I played The Last of Us through on the most difficult mode, grounded, so I do know challenge when I see one. One thing that you get into the mindset of is trying to use as little ammunition as possible. Now, you can go in guns blazing, especially in this early section. Yes, you can probably get some headshots on these enemies that you're going to be coming across early on in the game and one-shot them, and it's pretty easy peasy, but it's not always going to work out that way. Sometimes using firearms will cause you to get hurt by multiple enemies, causing you to get kind of like surrounded, maybe even incapacitated by them, because if you run out of ammo, you need to reload your weapon and you're getting hit, you're going to die. So we just want to really look at the best time to use your weapons, the best time to use stealth, and the best time to use hand-to-hand combat as you play through the game. Now, with these infected, you don't need any form of weapon to be able to kill them. You can take them out with hand-to-hand combat, L1 to dodge, and then square to be able to do a melee attack. Now, Abby definitely has a fair few moves in her skill set. There's definitely some mixed martial arts straight UFC training in her bag, that's for sure. So it is just a matter of really dodging those attacks at the right time, pressing L1, and then counteracting with square to be able to do those melee attacks. Sometimes you will have to do multiple dodges within a chain of attacks before you'll be able to kill these infected. Now, in this section here, there is a third woman who drops down. Now, if you was to just want to fight her, I would recommend moving back to this area to allow you enough time to defeat her before the fourth guy drops in, because otherwise you're going to be surrounded by two enemies at the same time, and it can be a little tricky. Now, it gives you an idea of the different options or different ways you can actually approach this game in terms of combat. At the moment, we're using more of a stealthy approach to be able to do some devastating damage from her being unaware of us being there. We do a ground and pound and she's done. Now it just gives us the fourth guy. He's going to be pretty straightforward, the same as the rest. Where these guys become tricky is when there's more than one of them on you at the same time. Being able to separate them like that, pick them off one at a time, is the way I personally would want to progress through areas like this. Just going to make life so much easier for you. Plus you can serve in ammunition, plus you can serve in health kits. Now here we had to use a health kit because she had hurt herself from dropping down, but that wasn't from us taking damage from any of these enemies. So later on in the game, you're going to have those health kits that, you know, could be the difference between you getting through a section or not. There will be ammo scattered around. You do want to make sure you're searching for the ammo and resources. This section here, we just need to crawl underneath the floor. Now, there is the infected underneath the floor here that we can't get past other than shooting him. If you find that there's an issue with the aim, because the aim can sometimes be a little offset of free aim, so you're going to wobble a little bit like you would in real life, you can turn aim assist on in the menu if you need to, so do check that out if your aim isn't that great. Some people like the challenge, some people don't.
Where's that lookout?
So you may not be able to see where to go through in this section here, but there is actually a little hole. Once you put the torch on, you can see that we just need to press X to be able to go through. Now the game gives us our first option to be able to listen. Now I know I did it earlier on, but you press R1 to listen. This option won't be available to you in the harder difficulties, which makes it a little bit more challenging, but this is just pretty much a stealth game now. Just a matter of grabbing the enemies and then taking them out. You will come to sections where it is a matter of picking the right target first because of the area that they walk within. Sometimes you won't have enough time to stealthily kill an enemy before another one sees you. So it's very important that you do choose the right enemy to kill first, and also to put yourself in the right position. Now, in this instance, it's better for this guy to be between the sofas for me to take him out than if I'd have took him out where he was initially stood. And that's purely for the fact that there's going to be a second infected walk through in a second that would have seen me if I was taking him out in his original position. We want to stay here behind the sofa until this guy turns his back. Now giving us the chance to be able to sneak up behind him after picking up the ammo off the little side there and then taking this guy out. Now just back inside the kitchen where we were a second ago, there is actually some food which will actually increase your health. So if you did get hurt at all in this section here because you used your last med kit a minute ago, there is some health on the kitchen side there if you need it. So now we get through to the last section of the stealth combat here by jumping over the fence. There's 4 enemies in this area. This guy is pretty straightforward really. He's got his back to you already. There's no stress there. But where it starts showing you how the stealth combat can be a little bit more complicated is with the next 3 enemies. You always want to use your kind of listening skill to be able to kind of get an idea of where they are. But here there's one facing us and one looking away. We just want to be patient really, and patience is a big thing in this game. We're going to wait for that infected to walk away before we actually take this guy out. Now I can quite easily get behind that second infected, but the third one would see me. So because we already got an idea of what cycle they're walking, we know that this infected on the right now is going to walk back up to where we are in a minute, because that's where she was originally. So learning the areas that these infected walk in and what their pattern is can be really important to taking them out and not getting noticed. It is a bit of a waiting game. Some people might not have the patience, which is fair enough, but I just find this is how I like to play these types of game, with a fair bit of stealth. Means I haven't wasted any ammunition, means I haven't had to worry about getting injured, having to use health. So now we've got our opportunity while we're behind these cars here to be able to take this third woman out. Before now just being able to get behind the fourth and final one. So this is what the guides are going to be, pretty much just giving you tips on how I get through some of the more challenging sections in the game, giving you maybe different options of different ways of doing things that may help you. If any of you guys are getting stuck on anything, then let me know. But that's pretty much it, guys, for Abby's part 1 walkthrough guide, and just watch this space for more The Last of Us Part 2. So I'll catch you guys on another video, and thanks for watching.